And when I met him, so I was in this state emotionally. I was under pill for this heroin addiction. But I was not thinking I need to remove the pill. No. I was just thinking I'm lost and I'm scared and I need help. And I meet him, and he's the one who made me this reset of the nervous system. And after that, I came back home. And in the next day, every day, I was waking up more and more, like feeling clear in my head, feeling clear in my emotions. Like if I got back my brain, I began to think more clearly. I was not over emotional like I was. I said, wow. And after a few days like this, suddenly I go out of the house to do my day, and I realized that I didn't take my treatment, which is usually the first thing I was thinking of in the morning.
You breathe differently.
You breathe differently, exactly. And
even your posture change, everything. Yes.
Everything.
So the effect was instantly there.
Yeah.
But you were looking for why this happened. You were looking for the reason. What's going on. Hi, this is Mariam El Harmoudi, and I'm so happy to introduce to you to a special guest, Miss Manuella Hachet. She specializes in a very rare major in nervous system regulation. And there is an inspiring story behind it, which I insist that she share it to the world today. Hi, Miss Manuela, and I'm happy to have you today with me. It's my honor to have you.
Thank you very much, Mariam. I'm very happy and grateful to be here today with you.
Yeah, my pleasure always. So, Manuela, just I would like you, to dig deep into your story, because I believe who you are today, it's because of your story.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So can you tell me why did you choose this major? Okay, and why you dedicate your life to impact as much lives as possible through it?
Okay, so I'm going to have to jump a little bit in the past. I think nobody can imagine when you see me today, nobody imagine what I've been through. So my life began originally, I was an introvert kid, but very successful. I was number one at school, number one in music. I had a lot of facility to learn. So everybody thought, oh, she's going to succeed in life like easily. But the opposite happened, at least at first. A major accident happened. My first boyfriend, my first love when I was 18 years old, got into a disastrous accident, and somebody got killed. And I saw this kid dying in front of me. And at that point, it has been so overwhelming. It has been the beginning of a completely different part of my life, because I fell into addiction for 10 years of my life. And I took all type of drugs possible, but mostly heroin addiction.
Interesting. And during your 10 years of addiction, when did you decide that, I don't want to lose my life? There were moments like, I don't want to continue with this. I will lose my life.
Yes, but it takes time, because so at the beginning, just to make it clear, when I started taking the drugs the first time, before that, I was like the perfect kid. So I never drank alcohol before. I was just smoking cigarette, but for me, drugs and alcohol, no way. But I think the fact that I was emotionally very unstable, it opened the door to say yes to something that I wouldn't have said no in a normal time. And when I first started, it was ecstasy. And I met another group of friends, and we went to a party together, and they proposed me to take an ecstasy. And I said, no. But at that time, I was so overwhelmed by emotions. I was lost. And after a few times they proposed me, I said, you know what, why not? And I took this pill, and suddenly this young girl, completely depressed and completely introvert, became suddenly like very confident, and I felt joyful. And this is what got me at first, the first level of addiction, let's say, but I didn't realize it because for me it was like fun, but I was looking outside for something to make me feel better, to make me feel, it was a fake confidence that I gained, because when you take the drug, yes, you feel better, you feel more confidence, you feel more joyful, but it's an illusion.
It's temporary for a period of time.
Exactly, just for a period. And the tricky thing with drugs is the more you take them, the more you reach, because your brain is going to have the memory of this higher feeling that you get. It can be whatever is your normal state at the beginning, you're going to get a higher state of confidence, of serenity, of calmness, of a fake feeling of strength, but it's not you. And so you go from this level to this one, but for a few hours only. And when these disappear, you don't go back just to the normal level. You go down. And the more you take drugs, this is why this path on drugs is a step by step. So I went slowly but surely, because at the beginning I thought, I am in control, which is a big illusion.
Yes.
Like, no, I'm in control, it's just for party, we are just having fun, it's not at all an addiction. You're going to hear that a lot. And but little by little, my brain wanted to have the same high, but more and more, the price to pay, the downside of it was more and more deep. And little by little, I met other people, and suddenly all my life, I was surrounded only by new friends who were all taking drugs. And then from ecstasy, cocaine, and I fell into heroin. And heroin became my major drug. Why? Because I was a highly oversensitive kid all my life. But I was very good to keep it under control. Because for me, very young, I understood that. I thought that being overly sensitive was a weakness. And I had to show everyone that I always felt different, but I wanted to show everyone that I'm like others. But inside of me, so I was showing something outside. But inside, I was a volcano. It was a volcano of emotion that I had to keep inside of me. And it was like I was a sponge. I was feeling everybody else's emotions, but with an amplifier. So it was... I think I was like a bomb inside, but under control. But when this major accident happened, I think everything I kept inside exploded. And this is why I think it was too much emotion. All the emotion I had kept all my life suddenly went out, and I couldn't handle it. And when I began to take heroin is going to act like... how can I say that? Suddenly, for the first time in my life, my emotions went calm, peaceful. Like I had no more this oversensitivity. My brain got calm, but most importantly for me, my emotions got calm. And this is what got me really addicted. And after of course all these years of being out of it, and I've overcome this and working in this area of expertise, now I understand that sometimes addiction are a way. It's like an auto-medication. You are looking outside for something is going to either help you or give you what you think you miss, or help you manage an oversensitive part, or too much emotions, or a brain who is going too fast or never stop.
So it's like it pushes you to look for external validation, to like convince yourself that I'm okay.
I would say it's more that instead of learning skills, because now I know the thing also is that during my time in school, for example, we were not taught these skills. I don't think today it's. I think it's better, but we were not taught how to manage these emotions, how to train our brain, because Today, we know that if we want to have a healthy body, we need to train regularly, we need to make sport, we need to eat healthy. Okay, this we know it. Today, this is very good. But what about the brain? It's the first muscle, the most important muscle of all.
Which control the whole
Which
body.
controls the whole body. But we are not taught how to train to train these muscles and to shape it. And as we don't know that, the thing is we should be in control of our brain, in control of our thought and emotions. But we don't have to use a manual for that.
Exactly.
And so what happens? Emotions controls you and thoughts control people. But no, there is for me that was a major change and something that is very important for me to share also, because there is simple exercise that can be done and fast. I like when things takes just few minutes a day.
Yes.
And there is a user manual for our brain, how to train it and how to shape it in order that we don't have to go outside. We don't have to take something to feel good with ourselves. No, there is other ways, way more healthy to do it.
So, thank you, dear, for sharing. So, what brought you to addiction was the toxic environment and people.
Yes, it was a combination, I think, of this oversensitivity and this accumulation of emotion, this accumulation of, I think, the pressure I was putting on myself to keep it inside. It was all subconsciously. I talk about it now this way, but I didn't realize at that point it was automatically. The pressure I was putting on myself to be always perfect, to be always number one, plus toxic environment and major trauma. So it was a combination, I think,
of all these reasons.
Of all these together. Yeah.
And now, if you while you are remembering your story, like we can say over 18 years ago, yeah, or over 18 years, you are regulating the system.
So to give you a timeline, from 18 to 28, I took either drug or heroin pill addiction every day. At the beginning, it was not every day, but rapidly it became every day. So 10 years of taking, 10 years of addiction. Then at one point, I really reached a rock bottom and I almost died twice. I think we cannot imagine, even for me, sometimes it's really hard to go back to these memories because they seem so far away. But I was living like a beggar. I was having piercing everywhere. I was not at all like you see me today. I was a very shy person, so feeling so bad in myself. If you would have put me somewhere, I would not have opened my mouth.
When was your turning point that you decided, I must get out from here?
And I went from like this in addiction. I went further and further until up to the point that I almost died twice. The first time, I was high and I got scared, but I thought maybe, I don't know, it's going to be fine. I didn't really realize. But 1 week after, it was the same but stronger. And at this time, I really got extremely scared. And there is a sentence in French we say, never twice without a third, and the third time is going to be the last.
Yeah. By the way, we have the same.
Okay.
and another more.
And so I came back home, and it was really in my head, and I said to myself, "Do you really want to die? Are you sure?" And the thing is, sometimes with deep addiction, you need to reach a point of being really scared. You need to be scared of losing something to have the strength to take this firm decision inside of you. I need a change. Because this decision is really key if you want to change. And so from that point, this was the first turning point but allowed me to make a change. And so I said, okay, I want to leave, but what am I going to do? And this is how I got inspired to, I thought, okay, how can I use this bad experience and turn it into something good? Find a way to use that to help other people who, like me, struggle with addiction. And most importantly, my first thought was, how can I use this to help doctors, clinic, so professional of prevention, but also healing addiction? Because from my perspective at the time, the way they were dealing with it, it was not adapted at all. And so I wanted to say, okay, I have experience, you have the knowledge of medical knowledge, I have the experience. Maybe I could explain to you, not as a person who doesn't want treatment, because usually addict people, it's really hard to get them into treatment, but how could we work together? But at the beginning, which I can understand, I went to meet all the doctors and bigger clinic, and they looked at me like, what is this drug addict wants? What, she wants to teach us how to do our job? Who does she think she is?
So of course they didn't like you.
No. And so the doors were closing. But when I have something in my mind, and I think it was my only, it gave me a purpose. So I got, I didn't give up. And at the last minute, like always in life, the last person I met was a doctor from NGO, Doctors Without Borders. And so she was a doctor, but she was also on the field. And when I met her and I told her that I wanted to do something with the medical field, she told me, yes, of course. She was the first thinking that my experience could be valuable. And we began to work together to make prevention actions together. And this first person who gave me my chance, which I thank, by the way, uh, it opened then other doors, because the fact that I began to work with this NGO, uh, over doctors, over institutions, then got me credit. And little by little, I went from this drug addict to working with some of the most important governmental institutions in France, with working with the health ministry, specialized in addiction prevention. I work also with the police, specialized also in addiction prevention. So we made a lot of actions together.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I'm just curious to know what different like tools or tactics she used, to in your journey of recovery that you didn't find it anywhere else.
So this is going to come after that. I'm going to explain a little bit at this point. The key thing that I had was to, so I life is well done. I believe in science and I believe in God. So God, when you are lost sometime, you are going to have a meeting or something's going to happen in your life giving you the solution. And I met someone randomly, and this person gave me a book. And this book was about the subconscious mind. And it was also talking about spirituality, because at the time I had lost God. And this book reconnected me to spirituality, like in a new universal way, but it gave me back the sense of there is something higher than us, and there is a purpose for everything, and there is laws to follow, and the subconscious mind for me was very important, because this is when I realized that there is inside of us, we all know more or less, but there is a conscious part, a subconscious part, okay. But it was explained that this subconscious part is acting automatically, registering everything we live from our mother's womb up to now, and mostly when we are very young, from the mother's womb up to 7 years, as the cortex is not completely fully developed, we are sponges. And every emotion or trauma gets stuck inside of us, and it creates kind of programs that are going to run automatically. And they were giving this image of ghost pain. So the ghost pain, I don't know if you say exactly that in English. In French, we say ghost pain. It's for example, if someone lose the arm, but before that he was having uh, pain in the joint, for example, 4 years. He lose his arms for whatever reason. Even if he lose his arm, he's gonna still feel the pain in the joint.
So it's like it's stored as a memory
exactly
in the body or in
and the nervous
subconscious.
system. The nervous system is connected to the subconscious, and it's gonna send the signal that he has imprinted inside of you. And even if what was for me very not shocking, but like a revelation, because your consciousness knows, your brain knows, that you should not feel anything because it's not there anymore. But even if you know, even if it's logical, there is a part of you acting automatically that you can't control. And this for me was very important, because then in the book, they were not giving the tools that I have now that are way more powerful and fast. But still, they were explaining that, okay, the subconscious is like a computer, and what you put inside, you can change it.
It's like you are coding it through your brain.
Yeah.
Okay, and it will command you to do
Exactly
who you are.
Exactly. And it's going to come, and then it's going to create, it's like a computer, and it's going to register all your core beliefs. What is life? For example, if you have been repeated, life is difficult, you need to work hard, or I don't know, life is a struggle. All these things that can also happen through. I worked a lot on this with few people in the past weeks. Sometimes we don't realize that a single event when we are very young that can impact very deeply the subconscious. For example, if very young you are going to have parents who are battling a lot emotionally or with money or whatever, it's going to imprint. And then the person growing up is going to think money is a struggle. But it's deep in the subconscious. You don't think about it every day, but it's here. And as it's a program, it's going to impact the way you're going to be with money in your life. It's the same for love, for health, for whatever. So
amazing how, that's why they always say when you had a painful incident, don't go and live there. Go back to learn the lesson, but don't live there, because the pain it's like you are refreshing the pain again.
Exactly. Yes, and you are, and I think one of the most common mistake is that people then begin to identify themselves to the trauma, or to, it can be a failure, or also identify themselves to default or mistakes, and even with addiction. For me, when I work and I help people with addiction, I don't want to focus on addiction. I say that you are not addiction. You are way more than that. And I want to help people to focus and identify to something way more positive. I'm not my default.
So you focus with them or to identify the fear they are going through their mind, regulating the mind and body together, to make this person himself or herself knowing that yes, there is a problem, there is fear. Identify what it is, and then focus on what's working. I think this is what you are. Focus on what's working and looking yourself like period of time from now, like 1 month from now or 1 year from now.
I work on two ways. There is one way for me, it's the reset of the nervous system. We need to empty the negative stimuli, so the negative imprint that have been registered in the nervous system. And for that, therapy is not enough, because therapy is it's good to understand why you did that, what happened, etc. Okay, but if therapy was enough, we would know it, because how many people?
Common sense, exactly.
Yeah.
So do you use acupuncture in your
I use acupuncture points. So for some techniques I use acupuncture point, but also some acupressure, but in a different way. Not only I think it's a mix. It's a combination of different knowledge, old medicine, but also combined with neurosciences discovery and over. It's a combination. Also, there is the person who told me everything I do today spent 30 years of his life studying the human behavior, human mind, and not only the human body, but also the human in the universal laws, like human and the nature. Like because we are not, we forget because we live in big cities, but we are part of the nature. And for example, the cycle of the seasons. Here in Dubai, we don't see it that much, but in Europe, there is 4 clear seasons every 3 months. Every 3 months, at the same time, all the nature is changing. Us human beings, we are part of it. And so these changes of the season, it's cycle. It's like in the body, very cycle. A mother is pregnant, it's 3 times 3 months. And every cycle has a meaning. Same for us.
And we adapt to the change.
Yeah.
Are living it.
Yeah. But we adapt, but the thing is, I'm going to go back to the user manual. Because when you don't have the user manual of your brain, of the subconscious, of this cycle of the season, of the world we live in, of us as a human being, it's like if you go to IKEA, you buy something, and you don't have the user manual. You have all these pieces to...
You want to know how to connect
oh my God. Because even with the user manual, with the IKEA, sometimes it's going to be a mess. But in that case, if you don't have the user manual, like, for example, I'm going to give a precise example. There is 2 moments in the day when the subconscious accepts to be reprogrammed, but we don't know it. One of these moments is the first thought of your day, meaning you wake up and the first thing that comes to your mind at this precise instant is going to give a direction to your subconscious and is going to follow. But as we don't know this very simple rule, what happens? Most of the time, usually you wake up, there is an alarm, or usually there is an alarm, and people wake up and it's like, oh, I'm tired. Oh no, not now. Or it's rarely, naturally, a very positive thought. And so with this simple training, for example, if people would know it's one rule over a lot of them, very simple, always, common sense. You train your brain every day. When you wake up, you need to train your brain to plug itself into something not only positive, something beneficial. If I plug myself into joy, simple word, 3 letters. If I am full of joy, whatever happens in my day, even if there is problems, we cannot avoid problems. There is always challenges, problems until the end of our day. The moment we won't have any problems, we are not here anymore. But I don't think we are so much in a rush to reach that point. So it's okay. Life is never straight like this. There is ups and downs, but with joy, whatever happens, you find solution. You're going to rebound easily. You're going to see the solution where other people don't.
Exactly. And, it's like you are telling yourself, convincing yourself, giving yourself permission that you cannot control what it's uncontrollable.
Exactly.
So I have to go with the flow and decide that I will fix anything in my day.
Yeah. I have the strength, and when I give this example of joy because for me joy is a huge strength. It's also the first quality we see in children. Even when we see a baby, you smile.
Yes.
Life is joyful, and when we have joy, we are more playful. It's like a kid. The kid is gonna fall, he's gonna cry, but then you show him something else. Immediately, it's forgotten. But adult, oh my God, we don't forget as easy. We lose this joyful mindset, this child.
We forget to live as a child.
Yes.
The more we grow, we forget, our childhood.
Completely. And so for me, it can be another quality, but it's to train your brain to plug itself the first thought of the day. So at the beginning, you're going to think about it like 1 minute after being awake. But if you do it every day, you're going to see that little by little, without thinking,
see it.
Yes, because it's going to create a pathway in your brain. And the more you use this pathway, at one point, it becomes a habit. And when it's a habit, it's very easy. Once your brain is used to begin the day on something very beneficial, little by little, you're going to see that it's not just the joy, this thought of the day. No, it's way deeper. Little by little, your overall way of thinking during the day is going to be more positive without fighting, because usually what do? It's another mistake. We're going to fight the negative side of ourselves. I'm too much like this, I'm not enough like that, and you are not happy about this side, and you fight against this side with a lot of effort. But the more you do that, the more you strengthen this negative side. We don't fight the negative side. You increase the most positive or the highest part of yourself. This is interesting.
Amazing. So it's your non-negotiable daily habit.
Yeah.
That will set you free and keep you focused the whole day.
Completely.
And once you do it daily, it becomes a habit, and it will be seen in your behavior. And yes, ultimately, it's who you are at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah. Amazing how self-talk and it controls who you are. And it might affect, even decide your destiny.
Completely.
Yeah.
We don't realize this is also something that should be taught at school, because we would avoid a lot of troubles and therapy after if we would be taught these simple things and this importance of self-talk. For me, the core beliefs about yourself, about life, about money, love, etc., and and of course it's connected, self-talk. And a lot of people think that they are the only one with this negative self-talk, because when we meet people, we are not going to share, oh, you know what, this is all my negative self-talk. No, everybody keep that preciously inside. But everyone I work with, it's been 18 years that I work with some of the most successful people on this planet. And all of them, men, for me, it was also a lesson, because you can be very successful. You can be in the top 3 in the world, in the top 10 or whatever. But this negative self-talk is always there.
So I can realize through your talk, like managing your self-talk, it's like, you are building a deep connection with yourself through your talk.
Yes.
And self-talk, it's there to be, aligned with who you are at the end. At the end, you want to reach to a level of fulfillment, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So it's nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong to have fear,
no
doubt. It's there, whether you are successful or unsuccessful. The only difference between successful or unsuccessful people is that successful people treat it as normal. They accept it.
Yeah, and they trained. I remember, I think it's
they don't feel it's wrong, something wrong with it.
No,
self-doubt and fear.
They don't think something is wrong, and they trained also. It's Djokovic answered. He was interviewed, and he said that to the journalist. He told him, I have doubts and negative thought like every human being. The only difference is that I train myself and train my brain to jump out of it very fast and not stay in it. And if you watch, for example, it's a good link. If you watch a tennis game at the top, you take 2 players, almost same level of talent. So of course, high level of training. Okay. The difference during the game usually is going to be the one who is able to switch off the negative self-talk. the one who gets stuck because pressure, stress, and I don't know, I lose a fear of losing, it's going to make the difference.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So our thoughts can shape, our thoughts and our beliefs. It's shaping who we are at the end. Yes, like we are by who we are becoming. Okay, what we are believing. It's like we are providing an evidence of who we are.
Mm-mm.
Even if you will not share it, what you are doing, it's showing who you are.
And it's completely connected also to the nervous system. Everything is connected. But there is a sentence in France we say, you attract who you are.
Exactly.
And I think it's you attract, you create what is deeply rooted in your subconscious and in your nervous system. And because the goal, the majority of people live with a part of them playing against them. And the goal is to, when your nervous system is regulated, then it's way easier and natural to transform your brain and your mind into your best ally. And I think this is also key. This is something that we should learn, how to transform our mind into our best ally in life.
Awesome. Exactly. A very beautiful question to ask. One should ask, himself daily.
Exactly.
Exactly. Because, many things going on in this engine. But when we decide, to bring it to the real life and, let it be there, why we keep it,
Mm-mm.
for ourselves.
It's very interesting what you're saying, because action is also very important. I work, if I go back to addiction, the people I work with who have addiction, usually a lot of them are highly intelligent people. But highly intelligent, but the level of action and daring to materialize this potential is
it's not aligned.
No, it's totally the opposite. And I always say, if you have the engine of a Ferrari, but you keep the Ferrari in the garage, and in your mind you dream about doing so many things, so you have your feet on the accelerator, but in reality, in action, you don't do anything, so you are how you call it, this over pedal to stop, like the brake.
The brake.
So you have accelerator in your mind, but brake in action. If you do that, you're gonna burn the engine.
Absolutely, you are right. And your goals and your dreams won't become true by thinking and overthinking about it. It's become true by taking action, small, tiny actions every day.
Exactly.
Yes.
Completely. This is also, this is what I learned in the past 18 years, but even before, but even more in the past 18 years, because when I met this man who became my mentor, let's say, I finished working with the health ministry. So I succeeded to go from drug addict to helping governmental institution on prevention addiction. But in reality, I was still on the pill for heroin addiction. And this was the thing I couldn't remove. And I tried so many things. So doctors, official therapy. Then I went to see other type of therapy. I tried everything I could, but nothing worked. It was helping, but always a but. And
we always say when there is a but, it means it's canceling, the symptoms before the but.
Yes, exactly. So at the end, no, it didn't work. So this is why also at one point, and it's going to be the second turning point, at one point I said to myself, you cannot, something is wrong. If you really want to quit completely with addiction, you need to make other changes. Because my work was about talking about addiction. My boyfriend from all this period was still using drugs. All my friends were still using drugs. So, of course, it was very difficult. It built also for me a huge level of willpower, because being able to stop heroin. Even if I had the pill, still, when you have this all the time around you, it's really not easy. But
You mean this toxic environment
yes,
and relationship?
yeah, I had to quit everything.
So it's never, we don't have to fear leaving toxic environment, because I believe, like, why we don't have to fear leaving such environment, because you are not gonna change it. Rather than it's likely they will change you.
Yeah. Oh, very
Rather than you change them. Yeah. So it's better you get out of it.
totally.
Yeah.
I think it was the best decision in my life. And all of them, they said, "What, are you crazy?" Because I was living in west of France, in Brittany, and I said I'm going to go to Paris. I knew only one person. Everybody said, "What are you doing? It's crazy." But I took my decision and I let everything. So I went to Paris with no work. So no work, no money, no friends, no family there, nothing. So when I arrived at the beginning, it was very stressful because suddenly I didn't know. It was a lot of stress. And at this period, it was the second turning point. The level of stress I was in was so high that suddenly I got overwhelmed, a little bit like when the accident happened, but for other reasons. And suddenly I was not even able to talk to people. I was crying all the time. And I thought to myself, maybe I broke my brain. Maybe it's the 10 years of addiction, and I have a price to pay. And this time I got even more scared than the time I almost died, because when I almost died, I was so high that I was not really realizing. This time I was just under a pill for heroin addiction. So it doesn't put you high. You are very conscious of what's happening. But it creates a level of addiction inside of your body at the same level as heroin. It impacts the same neurotransmitter in your brain. And so I got so scared. I thought that I have broken my brain and maybe it's too late. I cannot do anything to change it. And this is when, again, God, life, we call it the way we want, I met somebody who changed completely my life. And this man, that's the one I was talking about, he spent 30 years of his life traveling everywhere in the world. So he made some monks, and they taught him some techniques that are not written in any books, only given from one person to another. Took over practicing. Exactly. But then he studied also the neurosciences discovery. He studied everything he could to create then from all of it, to create a very precise protocol to have the fastest result possible. And when I met him, so I was in this state emotionally. I was under pill for this heroin addiction. But I was not thinking I need to remove the pill. No. I was just thinking I'm lost and I'm scared and I need help. And I meet him and he's the one who made me this reset of the nervous system. And after that, I came back home. And in the next day, every day, I was waking up more and more, like feeling clear in my head, feeling clear in my emotions. Like if I got back my brain, I began to think more clearly. I was not over emotional like I was. I said, wow. And after a few days like this, suddenly I go out of the house to do my day. And I realized that I didn't take my treatment, which is usually the first thing I was thinking of in the morning. And I was outside. So I said, I cannot go back home. Let's see how long it's going to stay like that. And at the end of the day, I was not needing the treatment. And I think only people who have lived heroin addiction can understand, or maybe alcohol addiction, because they are the strongest. I think heroin is the strongest because when you don't take either heroin or treatment for heroin addiction, your body is going to be in withdrawal, meaning that you are in a state that I wish to no one because it's the worst state ever. Mentally, emotionally, and physically, you want to die. You are in pain. it's a awful state, and your body physically, you are sweating, you are like if you have a fever, like a COVID multiplied by 10, you have pain everywhere. And I can tell you, I tried so many times to stop this pill, and every time I had this withdrawal effect. And what was the most surprising for me is that with this nervous system reset, no withdrawal. So I stopped this treatment with no withdrawal first. And second, I didn't decide, because usually, you decide I'm going to change it and you make an effort. No, this is when this was another revelation for me. If your nervous system is regulated, if it's like the nervous system is going to be emptied from a lot of negative information and imprint, and when these imprints are removed, you think differently, you behave differently,
You breathe differently.
you breathe differently, exactly. And
Even your posture change,
everything,
Yes.
everything.
So the effect was instantly there.
Yeah.
But you were looking for why this happened. You were looking for the reason.
But-
what's going on?
But at that point, I think the fact also that I was, I wanted to understand, what is this? What is this nervous system reset? I want to understand this. I want to know more, because it's been many years that I tried so many things. I want to understand. I want to know more about that. For me, it was revolutionary. I've never seen such a change. I've read so many books, but no books or no techniques gave me this result without effort and so fast.
And this was the turning point for you,
Yeah.
that you decided at that moment that it's not about only my recovery, it's my calling. And it's become your calling since 18 years.
Exactly.
And the legacy of that coach, it's
Yeah.
now it's still with it in you.
Yeah.
And you are like spreading it everywhere.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
You know, you are one of the precious gifts in the world. And your mission is, I feel it's for sure, it's a noble mission.
I think it's for if I can help other people, if I would have dreamed or loved when I discovered this, I think, but why do I know that only now? It can help so many people. But then I think at the beginning, I very quickly understood, for me, it was revolutionary regarding everything I experienced in the past. Then suddenly, little by little, at the beginning, I wanted to understand for me. And without me really deciding it, it became this man became kind of a mentor or coach. I don't like the word coach, because the anagram of coach is chaos. And people are needing a lot of, when I work with people, I'm not here to tell them what they should do with their life. I think the goal for me is to help people be stronger, be more confident, and have all the strengths and the resource inside of them to make choices, even if it's wrong. If it's wrong, never mind. I will change it.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Without drugs or medication.
Without drugs, or without the addiction of needing someone else to tell you what to do. Because I think it's another type of addiction. So
it's amazing. Amazing. And you brought me now to the topic of imposter syndrome. And during your journey of addiction and healing and recovery, you have went through many shifts of imposter syndrome or level, which is fear, limiting beliefs, doubts. And I believe you have seen such syndrome in every people. Normal people, highly successful people. You worked with athletes, with the top leaders in music and film industry. You told me earlier, and also in education industry. So, how you deal with such syndrome with people? The first thing.
For me, first it was a discovery, because I thought naively that once you succeed, this beliefs should go away. Yes, but no, it doesn't go away. It didn't go away. It didn't go away even for me, because from the moment I met this mentor, And suddenly, so it became my job. And for me, it's also a message I want to share with people, because I went from a drug addict, living almost on the street, to work with some of the most influential people on the planet. This, if you would have asked anyone, and even myself at the beginning, if you would have told me you're going to do that, I would have thought, oh my God, it's not possible.
But you went through many experiences that prepared you to be who you are today.
Yes.
Meant for you to go through such experiences.
And I think it's also, it helps me to understand other people, because when I began this journey, I had also this imposter syndrome. Who do you think you are? Do you think you're able to, how you are going to work with people who have this level of success? And
this is normal, I believe, with everyone.
Yeah.
This is normal. This, you remind me of a helpful tip I learned from one of my friends. And I'm using it whenever I feel this, imposter syndrome. Whenever I got a good feedback or a compliment, either I write it down, or if I got it through messages, I screenshot it. And then I save it in a folder to look at it whenever I am in self-doubt or doubting myself or, having negative feelings, And I found it's very fast way of, to change your state, from negative to positive within seconds. And it helped me a lot. And, reminding myself that this is my value. This is my achievement. This is my strength. This is my worth. So I found it very helpful. This is what I do when I went through such feelings and emotions of doubt and limiting beliefs.
It's interesting, because one of the things that can be done also, the compliment is very important. Again, the brain, muscle, regularity. If I want to have a healthy body, if I go, for example, for 3 days from morning to evening at the gym, but then after the 3 days, I'm going to go to McDonald's and I'm going to do nothing, I'm going to have a huge result. But if every day I do even, 20, 30 minutes, even if I would do 15 minutes every day, and I eat healthy every day, it's the regularity that's going to shape the muscle. It's the same for the brain. And for example, you talk about the compliment. It's another very easy, simple thing that everybody can do, but every day. And it's very
easy. It's easy and simple, but it's not easy to do it consistently.
Exactly.
Every day.
And it shows us the impact of the negative side. There is a part of us who is against us. There is a part of us sometimes that don't like us. And this is also another game. We need to learn how, if I want my mind to be my best ally, it needs to become my best friend. Because it seems that we all go through sometimes, and we see that a part of us is not our best friend. It can even sometimes be the enemy. So one simple thing, the compliment. Every day. And of course, you're going to forget, go back to it. And when you make a compliment to yourself, I'm going to go back to the identification. To what do you identify yourself? And I know a lot of people, the manifestation topic is very fashionable. I prefer identification. To which quality do I identify myself? Because if I want to manifest, because usually people want to manifest something outside. I'm going to take a silly example, a house, a car, a man, love, or whatever. Okay, you manifest it. But if inside of you are still insecure, doubtful, what's going to happen?
Nothing.
You're going to be fearful, fear of losing it, and it's not going to bring you happiness.
You will have the same negative feelings and emotions staying there with you.
Exactly. On the top of it, are you sure that what you want to manifest is the best for you? It's another story, because if I watched my life, I would never have been able to imagine everything that happened in my life. For me, again, I work I love science, but I really trust God. And I would not be here without him. And I think only him knows what's best for us. And for me, the most important is I ask him to manifest his will.
And this is the faith you have, even I have.
Yeah.
And we believe in God, and we surrender all of our things to Him. Things that we cannot control, we surrender to Him.
Exactly.
Because He knows the best for us.
Yeah.
Amazing. So now, let's, we are running out of time. We are having almost, we are like around 1 hour. I didn't feel the time.
Me neither.
I wish I can continue, Let's make it another episode. But one thing, to just conclude our talk and conversation. What one advice you can give to those who are listening now, who are feeling ashamed or stuck or scared, or whether they are into addiction or in something else, okay? They are down. What one advice you can give them in the next 24 hours that they can take themselves without medications that change their state to a better?
I think we talked about it during this podcast, but I would say first, you are not this state. You are not this emotion. And take my example. If I have been able to go from the worst state of my life, and not only did I overcome addiction, I turned it into a strength. And then from that point, I managed to do something that looks impossible. But it's not me. It's not because I'm better than others. No, it's because that's something that everybody can do. And so I would say don't never give up hope, because you can do way more than you think. You are worth way more than you think. And on the top of it, God can always come to the rescue.
So believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And connect yourself to something higher than you.
Yes, exactly.
So you can get out from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest possible time.
Yes. And of course, ask for help if there is things you are battling with. There is no shame about that. Talk to someone and ask help to someone and to a higher power.
Thank you, Manuela. Continue in your noble mission. And I believe that, your impact will continue for many generations to come. And those who are listening today to us, who need any support or any collaboration, they can communicate with you through your LinkedIn and social media, which will be shared at the end of the podcast. Thank you again. It was really a pleasure and privilege to have you today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maya.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.